How's it going, everybody? This is Dave from Talking Wolves. Of course, giving my thoughts on the upcoming game between Wolves and Crystal Palace for Back of the Nest. As always, cheers for having me on, guys, as well. Looking forward to this game at the weekend. I'm going to be giving my thoughts and giving my answers to the questions that you guys have given me. So, question one is all about Wolves' slow start to the season, and yes, it has been extremely slow. And of course, I'll go on to defeat in the Europa League recently. Yeah, Premier League has been pretty frustrating, to be honest. No wins yet for us in the first 5 games. But if you do look at our fixtures, we have had some tricky-ish ties. I mean, we've played Leicester on the opening day, a 0-0 draw there, a goal disallowed via VAR, which was really frustrating for us. But didn't really get going. Had a couple of half chances, but neither side really went and wanted to win the game. But if you look in terms of league position, Leicester are probably a team at the start of the season you'd probably think, yeah, Wolves will, challenge them for the top 6 or top 7. Second game then, we played Manchester United. A 1-1 draw there. Again, pretty, satisfied with that. United are a top 6 team for sure. And for us to go 1-0 down and get something out of the game still is great. I know you boys went and beat them, but yeah, I would have taken a draw before the game. Then moving on to a game against Burnley, a really frustrating game. Again, a game we just didn't get going in at all. Really, really poor performance. Managed to get a last-minute penalty to get us something out of the game. So 2 points out of our first 3 games. Burnley were probably a team on paper out of the first 5 fixtures that we should be beating, but getting a draw against them. Then moving on to the game against Everton, a game again, if we wanted to, we could have won in the early stages of the game, but it was a really slow start, more or less giving them a head start with some poor defensive errors again. All 3 goals came from poor defensive errors and losing that game 3-2. And then the most recent game in the Premier League, which is a disaster, a 5-2 defeat against Chelsea. Defensively, again, shocking. So, yeah, in terms of the Premier League at the moment, really poor start for us. We're still the only team in the Premier League not to take a lead in a game, which is pretty disappointing. We're scoring a few goals, but just conceding far too many at the moment, so really disappointing. Slow start, I can't really explain it. I wish I could for you, but a lot of people blame it on Europe, the early start to the season, the fatigue and so on. But yeah, it's not been a good performance. But question 2 was about Europe. How is life in European football? If you asked me that before the game against Braga, I'm recording this just after the Braga game, I would say, yeah, it's fantastic. But yeah, for a team that aren't normally in European competition, it's great because you play so many teams and you come across teams that, Wolves may never ever face again. So the first knockout or the first qualifying round we played against Crusaders from Northern Ireland. So they're a team based in Belfast. So we got to go over there. And the first game was at Molineux, which was great. I think people were expecting us to knock 4 or 5 past them, but they're the sort of team, they're in Europe most seasons, so they're used to playing these bigger sides, if you know what I mean. So they know how to set up. But we dispatched them then quite comfortably in the end, beating them home 2-0, beating them away 4-1, I think. We then played a team from Armenia, Punic. We beat them 4-0 in both legs, so that was a little bit more straightforward. And then Torino, which was probably the hardest team in the playoff qualifying stages. We managed to squeeze past them as well, so fantastic to get into the group stage for Wolves. I think it's a great achievement. We got drawn of a group with Besiktas, Slovan Bratislava and Braga. Braga are a Portuguese team. They've got a fantastic stadium. Really looking forward to going there in November. But they've beaten us in the opening game of the group stage, which was really disappointing. Again, not good at the moment, and it puts a lot of pressure on Wolves to get a result against Crystal Palace, which may work in your guys' favour or may work against you. But yeah, 1-0 defeat for Wolves. Again, they did dominate. Again, they had a lot in, but just didn't create the clear-cut chances. And Braga, an away side that will be very happy with that performance, a clinical performance, a smash and grab for them, really. One clear-cut chance, and they took it. And Wolves lost the game 1-0. But yeah, other than that, European football, it's all right at the moment, I suppose. In terms of how Wolves are going to, where our weaknesses are and how we're going to set up, I mean, we're going to set up in the same way, I'd assume. However, with our poor start, we may change it, but I'd assume we're going to start with a 5-3-2. The lineup is up in the air at the moment. Normally, this time last year, Wolves was so consistent. I could probably tell you player for player who we were going to start. Probably similar to when we came to your place last year. I could have the day before I could have told you our lineup. We were so consistent with that, and I think we played consecutive lineups. We were breaking records for that. But at the moment, no player has cemented their place in the team. I think only the goalkeeper, Rui Patricio, is guaranteed a place. Everyone else, you don't know who's going to start. Jimenez and Jota, they've not really hit the ground running as of yet, which is pretty disappointing for us as fans. But yeah, in terms of lineup, it's that. In terms of weaknesses, it's got to be defence for Wolves. At the moment, we are all over the place defensively. But then I could blame the defence, but I could also blame the attack and midfield because we're not scoring the goals. We're not getting the ball from midfield to attack. The midfield are a little bit leaky and allowing, putting more pressure on the defence. Just everywhere needs more improvement. There's no real massive individual errors at the moment by Wolves, but it's just small little things that Wolves need to improve on. And at the moment, for us as fans, it's a little bit frustrating to watch it. And, we're looking at it and thinking like, we spent quite a little bit of money. You've had to pay for your Europa League tickets all up front. We spent a little bit of money on that. You've got your season tickets, you've got your away tickets. And for us not to pick up a victory yet in competitive matches after, the European qualifiers, it's a little bit frustrating. To be fair, I recorded this preview for you guys this morning actually, before the Braga game. But before I'd sent it, I thought, you know what, I'll do another one after the Braga game. And I did say 2-1 on the preview before, but I'm feeling a little bit more negative now, to be honest. And I always back my boys on whichever preview, but I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw on Sunday. That's sort of backing them. But I did, I've dropped from a 2-1 win down to a 1-1 draw. But yeah, may the best team win, guys. Palace have got a great chance of beating us. But with Wolves being under pressure, it may, we may, perform on the pressure, and it may be a disadvantage to you guys, or it may be an advantage to you guys. It could go either way on Sunday, but as I say, may the best team win, guys. Thanks for having me on. Best of luck for the rest of the season as well. Hopefully it'll be an interesting game on Sunday. And yeah, look after yourselves, and I'll speak to you all very soon.